Ladies and gentlemen, Rosie here, back again. We're gonna do another one of these. It's been a while since we've overhauled Behavior's atrocious design, and especially since all we've been doing lately is bitching about how bad the company is, because the company's getting really, really bad. I think this shit they're about to pull this week, next week, releasing the twins. If they truly release the twins in the game, the way that they are, like, that's unacceptable to me. But that's the subject for my other video. Today we're looking at Huntress, and with all these add-on reworks that Behavior's been doing, I am very, very surprised that we have not seen Huntress get hit yet. She's been the character that I've been predicting is going to get hit in terms with an add-on rework for a while. Like, when you look at Huntress's, like, add-ons, like, you start to realize that she is the most, like, out-of-place character in the game. Like, her add-ons are all over the place. She's missing purples, only has one iridescent, she has, like, 8 yellows. What the fuck? What the fuck were you guys doing when you made this character? I'd like to be in the room when they designed her, for real, and see what kind of thing that was like. So, we have definitely added a bit more balance to her kid. So, what the Huntress does right now is she has some unique attributes. The most unique thing about the Huntress is her lullaby, where she actually has it's a signifier that she's there, but it's not her tear radius. Okay, so she has a tear radius that's not actually a tear radius, so it doesn't work off of tear radius perk. So it's very strange. She's a very that's the most interesting thing about her. Her tracking is probably some of the worst tracking in the game. She probably still has the worst patrol in the entire game, I would say. I'm trying to think who has worse patrolling than she does. I mean, Tier 1 Myers, just because of his 105, possibly, but at least he's undetectable. I don't know. I feel like is a candidate for the worst map patrolling in the game. I don't think she has the worst pressure because she's Huntress. But, so, she is a good character because of her good chase, but, like, she could still be buffed. And I think that as issues with her latency get corrected, I think she has hillbilly syndrome. As issues with her hitboxes and latency get corrected and continue to get corrected, I think she will fall down the tier lists more. I have her at, like, she's an undisputed high tier, I think, but, like, some characters in the game, I feel like as they keep making the servers better, she's one of the characters that will continue to get worse. That's just my hot take. So basically, that's my justification for buffing her. There's room for buffs here. So the only base kit change that I feel like the Huntress needs, besides it correcting the issues where you throw a hatchet and it misses the guy but hits him anyway, like, just besides that, because that's not really a base kit problem, I don't think. I think that's just internet latency and server issues. So besides all that, the only base kit change is that when she's out of hatchets, I feel like she should move at 115. Just a small little thing to, like, maybe let her secure it down without having to reload. Because when she's at 110, you might as well just drop chase and reload when you play her, because unless the guy's, like, really bad. But if he's really bad, you can beat him with anybody. But that's beside the point. So this small little buff, let her secure it down before reload, that might help her out a little bit. Okay. But, like, other than that, I feel like she's solid in the base kit department, and we're ready to start tweaking these add-ons. Okay? Course Stone. Behavior. Hit target suffers from hemorrhage for 30 seconds. Okay, hemorrhage is fucking terrible, so we don't want anything to do with that. Okay, if hemorrhage is in your base kit, you have a wasted add-on. So let's get rid of that. Start with 1 extra hatchet, increases carrying capacity by 1. We gave that was a yellow, we moved that effect down to this common add-on here. And then, next, Leather Loop. This is the one that starts with 1 extra hatchet and increases the carrying capacity by 1. Gave it a buff. Start with 2 extra hatchets, increases hatchet carrying capacity by 2. Okay, so that's all that is. It's just a simple family. Move that down. I think that's perfect. Next. Bandaged Haft. Behavior. Slightly reduces cooldown time between hatchet throws. Okay? This is one of those things that, like, yeah, it's okay, but I feel like her base cooldown time is solid enough. Especially if you're hitting people. I feel like it's solid enough. I don't feel like it needs any adjustments. Especially since if you're a good Huntress, like, you're hitting people a majority of the time when you throw your hatchets. So, you don't exactly care about that stat because you're going to be getting more hits than not. So mine moderately reduces hatchet windup time. I believe that was a yellow, another yellow that we pushed down to a common. With Huntress, you'll notice the theme that you'll notice here is that the scaling is off. Like, just a lot of this stuff isn't quite as powerful as behavior thinks it is, and then she has some garbage effects as you keep going. So, by just reducing the wind-up time on the hatchet, it's a good common. Just reduce the wind-up time, you'll get some downs with it. Next, Mana Grass Spray. This is moderately reduces hatchet wind-up time before, so we push that down to the Bandage Shaft, and we have considerably reduces hatchet wind-up time. Which, that used to be this, Flower Babashuka, or whatever this fucking says. Haber's considerably reduces hatchet wind-up time. Mine just gave it a buff. Tremendously reduces hatchet wind-up time. So far, we've been pushing a lot of her stuff down with the hatchet carrying capacity. Because we all know why this is good. And we all know why this is good. So we're freeing up slots is what's basically taking place here. We're getting rid of some of her awful shit and moving some of the good shit down. So next, Amanita Toxin. Behavior. Hit target suffers from blindness for 30 seconds. Okay, blindness is trash. Same thing with hemorrhage. If you have blindness and hemorrhage in your fucking kit, that's wasting. Trash. Just trash. So mine. Survivors within Huntress's lullaby range for 40 seconds without being in a chase give off a scream notification. So if they are in the range of the lullaby for 40 seconds without chase, when this doesn't occur, when you're in a chase, it shuts off, but you'll give off a scream notification. Help the Huntress with the tracking a little bit, and as you can see here, this is going to be a family. Shiny Pin, something increases hatchet wind-up movement speed. Who cares? Who cares? You don't really want to be holding your hatchets for an extended period of time, especially when you are at a loop. If you are in the open, you can bait mistakes with it, but your movement speed isn't what's helping you do that, so this is kind of useless. So mine. Survivors that are within the Huntress's lullaby range without being in a chase for 30 seconds will give off a scream notification. And as we... I forgot to add this clause. This effect is disabled while Huntress is within a chase. So once Huntress has found somebody, and you're within the lullaby range, it'll shut off. Because what this is designed to do is help the Huntress find a survivor and get in a chase. It's not designed to be permanent information cross-map. It's just designed to get the Huntress going. Once the Huntress is in a chase and the chase mechanic starts, your timer would reset. I forgot to mention that. I don't know if I have that clause on all of them. Fine Stone. Behavior. Hit target suffers with hemorrhage for 60 seconds. Another wasted add-on. Because hemorrhage is fucking trash, bruh. I don't understand why behavior... I mean, I guess I can forgive it on Huntress, because Huntress is a character that is archaic in her design. So it's like... I mean, I think we all knew hemorrhage was bad back in the day, too. I'm sure killers knew, because killers back then had a harder time than we do today. That's just a fact. So I'm sure they knew it was bad, but, like... I don't know, it's still... My point is it's earlier, so I'm more lenient on this design. But the fact that the hemorrhage is still around, and is still getting add-ons on, like, New Freddy and Pyramid Head, like, fuck, bruh. I can't believe that behavior still doesn't see how useless this is. Anyway, so mine make this a rare. Survivors within the lullaby for 20 seconds without being in a chase give off a scream notification. Affects the table when the Huntress is in a chase. So, like, it's designed to just get her going. It's designed so we can take whispers out, maybe not nurses. I mean, maybe you could take out nurses. I'm not sure. It's not in the game, so I can't lab it, but... It's designed for the be tracking. And then we got the pognant file? I don't fucking know. Behavior. Hatchets, auras, and lockers are revealed to the Huntress when within 36 meters. This add-on's, like, based on her when you don't have any hatchets. So, like, why would you want this benefit? Like, that's really bad. Like, that's trash, bruh. Like, that's horrendous. So mine, make this purple when survivors within the lullaby for 10 seconds without being in a chase, give off a scream notification. So, faster, faster, faster. It's relying on the Huntress's base kit being decent in order to secure downs. It's designed to correct the weakness of the lullaby and the tracking. The lullaby, with these add-ons, the lullaby becomes a positive and not a negative. And I think that is what an add-on should do. It should modify the kit in a way that turns this lullaby that she has into something that's good for her. Because right now, the only thing that the lullaby is bad. And honestly, the lullaby is so archaic, you could get rid of that entirely. Or just make that her tear radius noise. Like, it's such an It's very clear to me that the Huntress lullaby is not actually needed. She doesn't need to have that. She wouldn't be broken if she didn't have it. IMO. So, just turning the lullaby into a positive gives it a reason for existing. So, I think that there's families of add-ons like that would be alright on her. The infamous Barris toxin. Okay, one of the complaints against the Huntress and the Clown's exhaustion add-ons is that they're too long in their duration because they were designed at a time when exhaustion was also cured by running. I do agree with this. So, behavior for 30 seconds. However, the point of an exhaustion add-on, in my opinion, is to counter dead hard. Okay? So, I hear some suggestions for nerfs all the time, like the exhaustion should last 3 seconds for the Barris toxin, and then 5 seconds for... That's not good enough. Okay? These add-ons need to counter dead hard. They need to make it so that the survivors can't just drop a pallet, stand still for a few seconds, and then retrieve their dead hard. That never is allowed to be viable against these types of exhaustion add-ons. So you cannot give it that big of a nerf. So mine is this. Make this an uncommon, and then hit target suffers exhaustion for 20 seconds. That's fair. It's not too big, so if you actually do outplay the Huntress and make chase and break chase, you will have your dead hard when she finds you again. However, you can't just drop safety pallets and then stand still for 3 seconds and then get your dead hard back. That would make the add-on bad and useless. And that's not what we need to be doing when we're designing add-ons. So 30 seconds. So made it down to 20, and then the venomous concoction behavior exhaustion for 90 seconds. So I just made that what the old Barris toxin was for 30. I think that's more than fair. But I run Barris toxin more than I do the venomous one because I think Barris toxin's a fair add-on. I think venomous concoction is when it gets kind of weird. And like you can tell it was definitely designed at a different point in the game's history. But 30 seconds is more than fair. Completely. So that's what I did with that. Next is the U-Seed Brew. Is that how you say that shit? U-Seed Brew, bruh. Okay. Behavior. Hit target suburbs from the hindered status effect for 15 seconds. You know, not the worst add-on in the world, but it's... In the modern era, with all the dead hards, a 15-second hindered is not good. It's not good. So mine. Make this a common. This is my obligatory block the generator add-on. I think this kind of effect is really good for commons. It's not like a huge buff, but like it has potential for plays to happen. So hitting a generator with a hatchet will block the generator for 15 seconds. The generator is then revealed in white to all the players. Billy, I believe I had 15, since I think Huntress is a little weaker than Billy. Well, maybe not now, but 15 seconds, you stop a gen. It just allows you to maybe get it down, hook the guy, maybe get a pop play, save the generator. For a common, you can't ask for much more than that, bro. Rusty Head. Behavior. Hit target suffers from a tremendous mangled status effect for 120 seconds. And that's it. Okay. I moved the effect of Begrimed Head down to this one. Hit target suburbs. I think I buffed it too. Yeah, I did. I don't like that time. Hit target suburbs from a tremendous mangled status effect until healed, and then moderately decreases the repair speed of survivors injured by the hatchet until healed. Make this an uncommon. So you make this an uncommon, and now you have an add-on in your kit that applies mangled and is also good in archetype repairs. The repair slowdown, so you could maybe be a little bit more time efficient by finding a survivor, hitting them with the hatchet, giving them mangled, and giving them poor generator repairs. And then you would, because Huntress, because you have bad map pressure, that guy is not exactly fantastic at hitting gens, so you could leave him, get out of the chase, and then reset your add-ons up here. That, like this one, the Pungent Vial and the Finestone, you could reset those. So throw the hatchet at that guy, leave him. He has a penalty, break chase, and then boom, wait for the add-ons to do what they do. So I think that would be a combo that would be worth running. Next, Deerskin Gloves. Moderately reduces hatchet reload time. Okay, that's garbage. You don't really want to be buffing your reload time. It's not really important. Mine. Make this a rare. Upon hitting a survivor with a hatchet, gain a token up to 5. Each token increases Huntress's movement speed by 2% while not in a chase. So basically, upon hitting 5 hatchets, you get a 10% buff to your patrol movement speed. It takes you from 110 to 120. This will allow you to actually get around the map faster. It doesn't, and then you could potentially even use it, because since she's a long range, she doesn't exactly have to trigger chases. So you could be 120 as you move, and then that would help you get closer to the survivors, and then when you see them from a distance, you would still be moving at 120, so you could go for a few long shots using 120 movement speed. And this buff would also apply to your time when you are charging a hatchet too, when you're not in a chase. So they're all around a decent way to just buff that bad patrol game on her. I think that would be good. Oakhaft. Behavior. Moderately reduces cooldown time between hatchet throws. Again, that's not really a stat you need to be doing stuff with and buffing. So mine, make this a rare. When the survivor is down by a hatchet throw, all survivors within your terror radius give off a scream notification. Huntress has the lethality to do the infectious fright. She does. However, the one thing she's lacking is the terror radius, because her terror radius is only 24 meters. She's got a huge-ass lullaby, but the terror radius is bad on her. So, I think this is the comboed add-on. Glowing Concoction. Behavior all survivors' auras are shown to you for 5 seconds. Not terrible, but you usually don't need this to secure it down. On a Huntress, this definitely isn't worth the purple. So mine is this. The Huntress's terror radius is now tied to her lullaby. So her terror radius is just her lullaby. So you now have synergy here where you can do an infectious fright build, because you can either run the add-on or just run infectious. With her terror radius now on her lullaby, you can now use the lullaby to do things with terror radius perks, i.e. infectious fright. That's definitely the big one. You could run those other bad perks, but I'm mostly just talking about infectious. That's cute synergy. However, we can all agree that the lullaby is overall in her kit right now a weakness. So you could either do that, do the infectious fright, or if you want to be stealthy, Huntress has got a 24-meter terror radius. If you make a new add-on, you see Concoction Behaviors is hit target stop moderate hindered for 30 seconds. We went over why that's not really worth it. So you have that extreme. She has Myers potential where she can do that extreme on the infectious, but she does have a 24-meter terror radius. So if you make this a purple, Huntress's lullaby is no longer present. You take the lullaby out through an add-on, you now have a character with a 24-meter terror radius that can more effectively sneak up and approach survivors that way. Now, To be fair, her lullaby, because like a lot of survivors don't respect the lullaby when healing because of its huge range, so it's not like a requirement to running your nurse's calling stuff, but this could still help. This could still help you secure that, and having and making the lullaby go away. There's other benefits you can do with that, because just not having the lullaby means like they won't hear it, and then it's Huntress, and like shit, where's the fucking lullaby? You know what I mean? It'd be good surprise factor, and you would be a lot more secretive as you moved if the lullaby were not there. So for a purple add-on, I think that's more than fair. You get rid of the lullaby. Next, begrimed head behavior. Mangled decreases repair speed of survivors injured by hatchet. Tremendous mangled world in 20 seconds. Yeah, we moved that down. So my begrimed head is this. Throwing a hatchet at the pallet will cause the pallet to instantly break. This has a cooldown of 30 seconds. Has it ever happened to you that the survivor drops the pallet, you throw your hatchet, whacks the pallet? Isn't that irritating? Isn't that irritating? And you feel like you don't even... it shouldn't happen, but it's still annoying. And I feel like this is an answer to those interactions, where it's like, I may have hit the pallet, but my add-on broke the pallet, so I'm still going to get you before you get to the next tile. Kind of makes up for a mistake. However, the power of this add-on, I still think is worth a purple, because if she sees a pallet, she can just throw it, the hatchet at it, and then break it. So I think that time saving this will give you is worth a purple. It has a lot it can do in the chase, and like you could use this to zone a survivor off as well, because you could be running around the loop tile that, and like especially those bad ones at Autohaven that she can't throw over. You could just be like you could be like charging your hatchet, and the survivor goes, he can't throw over this one. He's bad. He doesn't know what he's doing. And then boom, you throw it at the pallet. Pallet breaks. Survivor zoned off in the corner. They're fucked. So it would give her a lot more counterplay to those tiles that just fuck her up right now. And I think that's why it's overall worth a purple. Next. Oh boy. The godforsaken iridescent head. The add-on that needs a nerf more than any other one in the game. Behavior. Inflicts the dying state when you throw a thing by throw the hatchet, and then reduces the carrying capacity by 4. Okay, yeah, terrible. That's so broken, and we all know why. And it's bad game design. Like, this is not the stuff you want to be balancing the game around. You see, everyone like, well, Leaf Survivor is just buff killer, but you can't buff killer too much, because this is I have a very strong stance on this add-on. I mean, I know everybody hates it, but this is not good game design, okay? This kind of stuff is just not fun to play or play against. I don't like running this. I don't understand the appeal of people that want, okay, yes, I'm sure a 4-man survive with friends could easily beat an iridescent head infantry belt Huntress. For real. I think that 4-man Swift is strong enough to beat iridescent head. However, iridescent head is in the level of 4-man Swift in terms of bad design. You know what I mean? The game should not be balanced around stuff like this. It's bad design. So, but however, the instant down's okay. So mine is hatchets that hit a survivor from 15 plus meters away are instant downs. So it rewards the Huntresses for the long shot. And since we gave it that buff, since we gave it that nerf, we can also now give it a buff to where it only reduces the hatchet carrying capacity by 2. So if you want to run Iridescent Head, you can either combine it with the two others, with the two add-ons at the beginning that were like the infantry belt before, and then you'd be back to 5. And then, or you can combine it with its old buddy, my new iridescent infantry belt, making the infantry belt an iridescent. So it's infamous, the infantry belt iridescent head combo. That's all. I do think when they rework Huntress, they should make infantry belt her iridescent. And my infantry belt is this. So okay, we all know what behaviors does. Start with 2 hatchets. Mine is this. Make this iridescent. Huntress doesn't have to reload. She has infinite ammo. For an iridescent, that's good. It doesn't affect the core gameplay. The interactions between you and her at pallets doesn't change how that works. It's just a buff to where she does not have to reload anymore. She has infinite hatchets. I think for an iridescent, that's okay. It doesn't change. It changes how the character works, gives her an effective buff, but that's not broken. If that's not broken, you could easily beat a Huntress with infinite ammo. You could. And in today's meta, you could easily do that. So I think that's 100% all right. So that's my Huntress. But with what we've created here, we have turned the lullaby into a resource for her rather than just a crippling thing that's supposed to be there. It gives her tools for tracking. Those tracking add-ons might be insane, so like I'm open to toning those down maybe a little bit, maybe reduce the multiplier from 10 to 5 seconds. So like 30, so like 40, 35, 30, 25. I think that would be it if you did it by 5. So like that, like I'm not against that. The point is like you turn the lullaby into a resource for her. We give her new ways to use it. We tie it to her terror radius so it opens up infectious fright for her, and we give the option to remove it. And then we have the basic stuff on her that's still good right now that we left in. We gave the iridescent head a much deserved nerf, and then we made iridescent that helps her do what she's trying to do. This kit is much better, much more balanced. Really, a true understanding of what she does, instead of just giving her crappy status effects. Because, like, I feel like when behavior doesn't understand characters, they just say, give them an add-on to give them hemorrhage. Give them an add-on to give them blindness. It just means they don't understand the character. This kit here is an examination of her strengths and weaknesses. Thinking about the game, thinking about the things she could use, and we've created a much better Huntress. And this Huntress would definitely go up the tier list. This is a kit that would make her much more oppressive to go against, and much more of a threat on the map. Because it makes her less restricted. It makes her weaknesses not weaknesses anymore, and it turns her weaknesses into actual outplaying, which I feel like is what should, like, if you want to beat the Huntress, you can't just stealth her out through the lullaby, through non-interaction. Trash. Get good. Outplay the character. So I think that's good. GG's, I believe Doctor's next, right? Oh boy. There's not much to change there. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this. Tell me what you think in the comments.